that makes me think twice also about whether or not this is Tylil's first time doing something like this. Because the fact that he gathered the proof during the time frame of him being in this situation, just in case, is very interesting. I mean, although she perjured herself, sending him the $2,000 request for money, that's weird. Him just snapshotting the receipt of the Uber, just like the cognizance of mind. Maybe he was just doing it just because he started acting weird. Because he recorded, he was thinking, he's probably thinking on his toes, but at the same time, it makes you question just his first time participating in something like this.
For anybody who's in a situation like this, right, where you're tempted, you're tempted to fall into the trap of going with somebody who you know that you shouldn't be messing with. You got a girlfriend or you got a significant other. For anybody who is tempted, let me share some scripture with you, because if you study Proverbs will give you everything you need to know about not putting yourself in situations like this Tylil and Jourdin situation. Not putting yourself in situations that can compromise your integrity, if you do have integrity. Okay, so we're going to diagnose some of this, and then we're going to go through the full chapter and just kind of look and see, draw parallels to the Tylil situation and Jourdin situation. So starting with chapter 20. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. It's obviously, like I said, if you have a relationship with God, you should fear the fact that God, he sees everything. He knows what you're doing. He knows what you're thinking. And when you're not thinking straight, God is looking at you like, come on, be stronger than this. Be stronger than this. And I just think that the fear of the Lord, which in Proverbs, the first chapter, says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of making sure you don't screw yourself up. In this Tylil situation, him knowing that he was already in the wrong, this could have gone left if he didn't have the proof. Thank God he has the proof, like I said. But most guys that get put in this situation with no proof, not really paying attention to what they're doing, get put in a situation like this and lose their career, lose their fans, lose their livelihood because they're not paying attention to what they're doing. That makes me think twice also about whether or not this is Tylil's first time doing something like this, because the fact that he gathered the proof during the time frame of him being in this situation just in case is very interesting. I mean, although she perjured herself, sending him the $2,000 request for money, that's weird. But him just snapshotting the receipt of the Uber, just like the cognizance of mind. Maybe he was just doing it just because he started acting weird, because he recorded and he was thinking, he's probably thinking on his toes, but at the same time it makes you question, this is his first time participating in something like this. But anyways, I digress because I don't know. Your views are in full view of the Lord. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. When we decide that we're going to do something stupid, 9 times out of 10 it puts us in a trap. To ensnare is to entrap, to, to put somebody in a situation, right? 9 times out of 10, when we decide that we're going to do something stupid, when we decide we're going to do something against God, then it usually doesn't end well. Sometimes we get away with it, and then all that is a piling up of a whooping on the shelf for you for later, is how I look at it. Because eventually you're going to get caught. So a lot of times when we decide to do dumb things, those things that are against God, they put us in a situation where our life could even be in question. And then the next verse goes, for lack of discipline, they will die. The discipline to say no. The discipline to, when you're in a situation that you know you shouldn't be in, even if you're already in it, just back up a little bit. Look at things and say, well, if I continue and I go through with this, what are the consequences? What are the possible consequences? And that, a lot of times for me, that's how I weigh what I'm about to do. Like, for example, if I'm gonna get in an argument, I'm gonna choose who the argument's with. If the argument is with my boss and my boss disagrees with something that I said, I likely is gonna leave that one alone. I think I want to keep my job, so I'm not gonna argue with my boss because, hey, at the end of the day, she's in charge of what I do. So long as she's happy with what I'm doing, I have a job. I don't get my pride too into the situation to the point where I'm trying to usurp my boss to be bigger than her, because why? Why would I do that? Because I want to keep my job, right? So a lot of times we don't think past the current action. We just think, I'm fine. I'm focused on right now. You're seeing this provincial view, this small view, and you're not really seeing the bigger picture. Because out here, my peripherals, I can see what's coming. I can see what's around me. But if I got tunnel vision and I'm focused on the pleasure or whatever it is that I'm trying to get out of the situation, what's on the other side of this could be detrimental. So for lack of discipline, not being able to discern, not being able to say no, not being able to get yourself out of a situation when you're in it, you will die. Led astray by your own foolishness, great folly, foolishness. So for me, reading Proverbs a lot of times keeps me out of dumb situations, because I will remember Proverbs chapter 5, right? And I would think to myself, I don't think I want to get into a situation like Proverbs chapter 5, because it gives you the context of the things that's going on and allows you to think twice about what you're going to do.